Hello, everyone.
G'day. It's good to see you all. Good to see you all.
It's good to see you, Josh.
good to see you, Christian.
How are you feeling this night? This
Tired.
Thursday, the 6th of July.
Thursday the 6th.
You know what? I think that's the thing that I admired the most about news reporters and anyone on the radio is that they always knew the date and the time. And I wonder whether in the studio, whether there was something that was like date and time
You
here.
know, one year during a festival season, I had to say the day of the show. So I had to be like, hey, it's Tuesday night, whatever, or the date as well. It was really difficult.
Yeah.
I had to concentrate so hard. I was like, hang on, what's today? Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday night.
Yeah.
Surprisingly difficult. So shout outs to all those newsreaders who get the day and date right every time, week after week.
And I just want to say a big shout out to Apple. They're a little company run out of California. Their iPad product has the date and the time in the top left corner.
Huge.
Thank you so much for that.
They've really figured that out, haven't they?
No
one was really putting that in, were they?
Who, Apple?
No one was putting the date and the time on anything.
No.
And then Jobs came along.
What do people need to know in a pinch? What do you need to know in a pinch?
How much salt?
Time
Time.
and date is very important, but in a pinch,
Take my jumper off. Sorry.
weather, because I've found that the older that I've gotten, the more I care about the weather throughout the day.
I've found that in recent times, I've started to care.
I love that people saw you in the shop before you were wearing a jumper.
Yeah. I seem
This is like rock bottom.
I seem to care less about the weather than I feel I used to.
You care less now.
Yeah, I think if I get it right at the start of the day, I just go, just give me a hey Google, give me a vibe check on the weather, and then I go that determines the day.
Yeah, but what about throughout the day checking if the rain is coming? Like,
No, I don't care. Because I'm like, I have my umbrella and I have my jacket if I heard it was going to rain today.
That's the difference, right?
So-
You have a brolly.
Yeah, so I'm not like, if I'm going to go home later, I'm not like, what time's it going to rain? I better avoid that. I just go, if I get caught in rain, I get caught in rain.
Yeah, but sometimes there's ominous clouds and you're like, are they actually threatening? Do they threaten
what?
Wet?
To do wet?
to make me wet.
Yeah, but does that matter to you?
To be wet? Absolutely, because
No.
I don't carry an umbrella.
Oh, okay. If you don't have a brolly all the time, then
Yeah.
you should just know in the morning. You ask once in the morning, and is that brolly? or not?
I actually don't trust the morning to afternoon report. I think that there's a big gap in
you gotta
meteorologists' forecasting capabilities.
You want live updates throughout the day.
I want to be able to check at 2 p.m. and go, okay, what's the weather at 3 p.m.? Give me I feel like 90 minutes. They have an idea, because you always look at
90 minutes
that weather system and it's like, here's what's happened the last 30 minutes. Here's what's happening over the next 30 minutes. And you go, I've got a fair idea. Seeing the pattern, the weather system. Geez, those charts are great. You feel you feel like you work at BOM.
The rain one. When you watch that slideshow of that,
Yeah.
you're like, I can read this.
Now, Josh, we've just cracked into starting this live stream without any context, so maybe we can backpedal a little bit.
For everyone who's watching, g'day to Nelson. Good to see you, mate.
G'day, Nelson.
I think Kinetic Screen's here as well.
Thank you, Kinetic Screen.
Designed the graphics for the pre-show.
Geez, it was seamless to use.
Twas.
But for some context, we've titled this mid-year update. Now, people would notice that there is an absence in the room. Dion-sized hole. Dion is sick tonight, so couldn't join us for our mid-year update. But you still have us, Josh and Christian. I've got a big update. Josh, you've got a big update. More so, we've got a big update.
Yeah.
Cumulatively.
Yeah.
Patchwork's going to take a little hiatus because I'm going away for a very long period of time.
We're going to put him away for a very long period of time.
I can't explain why I'm going to be gone, but just know that it's out of my control.
And you won't be able to reach me. I'll get one call a day, but you don't know why.
I am going traveling with my partner for an unlimited period of time. There is no bookend to this. We're thinking somewhere in the range of 6 months, but it does have a roll-on impact to the things in my life, like the Welcome to Patchwork podcast.
Yes. So we've just got a note. I'm too soft. I don't know if we can bump me up a bit. So in the absence of Christian, I guess it's just a case of we'll do a few little specials here and there. Maybe get Christian online one time, a couple times, whatever. But we'll sort of be pausing Patreon and, just communicating as we see fit with you guys. Maybe doing a few specials every now and again.
And the thing is, and Josh, maybe you might be soft also in there because I know that you're using Dion's microphone right now.
I am, and Dion's much louder than me.
And we tend to turn him down from there. So you can go fix that up while I do a little diatribe if you like. But it is interesting to take some considerable time off. And now I'm talking to an empty chair. No, it's
from the desk.
Does it?
Yeah.
It's from the desk?
It's fine.
I've got you cranked to the max.
Sure, I'm sure it'll be fine now.
You're too maybe he's saying you're too soft as in you're just a big softie.
No.
Well,
Kinetic Screen will 100% be talking about the quality of the feed. 100%. No issues there.
Yes.
So it's an unknown how long Christian's going to be away. But it's very exciting for him.
It is exciting, and I will miss having Patchwork in my life because, we've managed to have it be this very important creative outlet for ourselves. And you kind of start relying on it. And not having that going forward will be tough, but I would like to still participate from afar. And I know that you and Dion will kind of carry the mantle.
We'll do a few things. We've got some fun ideas. We're thinking about doing just chats about tech stuff. I don't know. Just things that interest us. Just some weird experiments, little small things.
But also, I think that for a lot of people, you've got a back catalogue of 120, it will be 123 patches by that point.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Start revisiting. Go for a rewatch.
Well, we don't really get any money from ads, so if you don't want to rewatch, don't worry about it.
But even so, you don't see me getting upset at Jerry Seinfeld for stopping Seinfeld. And Larry David.
I was furious.
But sure, momentarily. That's a big hiatus. But we go back and we just rewatch from the start.
You do.
Back catalogue.
Yeah.
And we've got a hefty back catalogue.
We do now. It's pretty interesting listening back how much we've grown and how comfortable we've all become on the mics. And thinking back to those first few sessions, we were at... was it Red Hand? I used to work at a company called Red Hand as an advertising agency.
Yes.
And the first few sessions were in the boardroom there. And one of the early episodes, like the cleaners came through, you hear this vacuum cleaner go the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of cool to think back on those boardroom recordings on the little USB mics, having this cool
that never
setup.
came out, right? There were a couple of episodes.
The Bo one, we did some with a friend that never came out.
Yep.
We did like 5. No, I think we released everything that we recorded.
Really?
Yeah, I think we just jumped in and were like, this stuff's gold. Get it out there.
Gold, Jerry.
It's gold. It's gold. But what we thought we might do is we have notes. And like you were saying, it's a creative outlet.
Yeah.
So we have a notepad in our phones that we just add stuff to individually. So we thought we'd just go back over some of our old notes that essentially didn't make the cut for one reason or another, or they just got forgotten or more stuff superseded them. They're really long. My notes is really, really, really long.
So maybe tonight's not the night to go through all of them.
No,
but I feel like the ones...
Just some choice cuts.
I would like to hear the ones that you always scroll back to in your list that you go,
I don't
I've
scroll
never
back
been
that
able
often,
to.
but...
I've got one in particular, which I know I've been trying to discuss for some time, and I'd just like to raise it now because it is the gripe. It's a gripe with you directly.
Is it a bone to pick?
It could be a bone to pick.
I got a bone to pick.
Josh, this is now years ago that I wrote this note down, but I remember the moment, and you pulled a Mountain Dew from a case that was, I think, underneath your desk in your office.
Yeah.
And you just cracked it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't understand how you were happy drinking the Mountain Dew without refrigeration. And your quote was, "It's cold enough," in response to why you don't store it in the fridge.
Great, perfect response, right?
But it doesn't make any sense.
I think it makes perfect sense.
You feel like soft drink at room temperature is cold enough.
Yes.
So the room temperature factor here, why refrigerate anything?
Because some stuff you want cold.
Beers?
Beers, absolutely, you want a cold beer.
Soft drinks?
Not necessarily.
Why do they serve soft drink with ice?
Well, I don't get it with ice. I say no ice.
No ice.
Hold the ice.
Do you say... Do you ask them to heat it up a little?
Yeah, just go, can you leave it out for an hour, please?
Yeah.
No, I just think, particularly where I store my cans like that, they're not like under sheets or anything like that. They're normally kind of coldish. I don't grab it and go, that's warm. I grab it and still feel. If I was to describe when I pick that can up, is it hot or cold? I would say it's cold.
It's not cold though.
No.
It's
But if it was binary choice between hot and cold when you
Okay.
picked it up, sometimes you pick up a can of drink. It's been sitting in your car. You go,
I
that's
understand.
hot.
Yes,
It's not that.
But you can't live life in the binary, right? You can't say because it
Not
is-
in 2023.
No. It's a spectrum, hot and cold.
It is. Soft drinks are. A
You can
spectrum.
be hot and cold.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely.
But you can't just pick something up and say, "Oh, feel colder than not hot." Therefore, can drink.
If cold, can drink.
Yeah. What about maximizing pleasure? Like, how is it?
I don't like because I don't like it really cold. Too cold on the teeth.
Too cold on teeth.
Yeah,
Sensitive
too cold
teeth.
on- sensitive teeth. Too cold on teeth.
Okay.
That's why I use Sensodyne every time I brush. Remember the old ad? He was like biting into the bits of train. Do you remember that? The Sensodyne ads?
biting in bits of the train.
Wasn't it? Someone correct me here. All three people who were watching. He had like a it was like a world eating champion or something, and there was like a train. And the idea was you got sensitive teeth, and he's like eating into bits of the train. I think that's what this was. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've never seen the ad, and as someone with sensitive teeth, I can't imagine why eating steel would trigger your.
Because it's a really hard thing, right? Look, I didn't look a
but
lot
for
into
me,
the
it's-
logic behind the train eating ad.
For me, it's about the cold. The
Yeah.
sensitive teeth. Do you know?
Oh,
Do you know
the cold
something
train.
that my
The
dentist?
John Cold train.
Yes.
John Cold train.
Ooh, train cold. Cold to the touch. Something that my dentist told me to do recently was a post brush with sensitive toothpaste. So I brush my teeth, then I get the sensitive toothpaste on my finger, rub that over my sensitive spots. Works like a charm.
Oh, so you don't rinse that out?
It's a charming workaround.
Yeah, right.
Little charmer.
That's good.
Yeah. Charmer and Greg.
Chara and Greg. One thing I wanted to talk about that happened to me the other day.
Are we done with the room temp? But the thing is, if we're done, I can tick that. I just want to make it official. I can
We've
tick that
talked
off my
about-
list.
Well, I think it's completely normal and fine, and we don't have a third person here to be the arbiter and pick one side, and that's why this podcast will never work with two people.
No, but I just wanted to raise the next point, which was that you said that there were too many sultanas in your sultana brand.
Yeah.
It was an extension of the original point that I needed to raise.
So that happened.
Again, nonsensical trash coming out of your mouth.
That happened when I poured. I had a box of sultana around, and I poured it into my bowl, and I was like, "It's too many sultanas." The sultana to brand ratio is way off here.
So
That brand
What-
it should be
what-
brand garnished with sultanas.
we'll start at the start.
Do I want some brand with my sultanas? That's not the question I want to ask.
You reckon the brand is cheaper or more expensive than the sultana?
Cheaper, 100%.
The brand is.
Got to be.
So why aren't you going shower me in sultana?
Because I didn't buy a box.
that I've mixed up.
It might be. There was
'Cause there was-
sustain.
there was
sustain
just-
got little things.
just right.
Yeah.
Was your flake with your apricot pieces, right? And then the bran, the long kind of threaded bran, maybe some nut. I can't remember.
I think that's
too much.
sustain. Is that or
Sustain to me was just like long weevils, like long bran weevils. And then the sultana bran, in my mind, and the chat, if anyone remembers, tooth mousse.
was that when you were doing? Yeah.
That's my little tooth mousse. Sultana brand, if anyone remembers, I'm pretty sure used to have the yogurt pieces, and they were the gems,
I don't think it did.
the diamonds in the rough.
I think you've made that up. But for a breakfast cereal,
yes.
are you more likely to eat sultanas or bran? If you could take
right.
away one,
I
you're more likely to
agree,
have bran, right?
But how many sultanas could there have
There
been
was-
to warrant the
there was
comment?
a lot to the point where I was like, with each spoonful, I was like, "Where's the bran?" There was so much. There was so many sultanas. For me to say that, it would have been way off kilter.
I can't imagine what's going wrong with the machinery that there's one box which is pooping out all sultana.
Unless it's to do with how it was transported and it's just moved in a way that all of the... So I had heaps of bran in the first half of that box and the back half of the box was just sultana heavy.
So you're saying that sultana brand need to shake well.
Yeah.
Free service.
They got to have something, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should do that.
I'm happy to tick this now.
Yeah, great.
And this has been...
you take
this
it to
has
the
been a
Bunnings.
long... Yeah.
You take it to the Bunnings paint section and they put it in that machine. It's like... just do that.
All right, ready? Mm-hmm. That's a tick for me.
Okay, great.
Because we've abandoned the rule format
Great.
in Welcome to Patchwork.
Isabella says the yogurt ones were the best. So maybe there was a yogurt one
Aha.
with. Maybe you're right.
I'm
Christian.
pretty sure Sultana brand did. And then,
Connection says the only thing of Just Right. I still have Just Right. Just Right's got little Odie boys as well.
Odie boys,
Little oat boys.
Just Right does.
Yeah.
I've not eaten a breakfast cereal for a really long time, and I think as you get older, you go, well, actually, this doesn't apply to you, Josh. Sorry. Present company excluded from this comment. As most people
As
become
you age
adults.
out of childhood. Yeah, great. Asshole.
Hang on.
Go
Prove
on.
me wrong.
Go on.
Prove me wrong.
They
What
make
cereals?
cereals for adults.
What cereals are currently in your storage shelf?
Wheat Bix, Just Right.
Yeah, right?
Adult cereals.
They're not adult cereals.
They
They're
are.
They're for adult children. Like, as in, Just Right is like for your 12-year-olds. Like
are you
on the
talking
adult
about?
side of child.
What about Special K? Is that one?
I'm pressing your buttons. I just think that there's a sect of adult which goes, can't have them anymore. Got to have my Carmen's muesli.
Yeah, right. Okay. So you got to spend
That's
more
what
money.
I mean.
They're
More,
tricking
it's the
you.
money.
They're tricking you.
They are.
I
Tricking
think.
you.
Look at the box.
It's a grift, isn't it?
The idea of adult cereal.
Yeah, because they're essentially still coated in sugar and oven baked.
I'm sure it's all rubbish, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Christ.
Um,
They got me.
They got you good. I just want to talk about recently. I got a speeding fine in the mail yesterday, and it was a shocking feeling.
I was a witness to it as
It
well.
sucked because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is weird. Why have I got a letter? And then I was like, infringement notice. And I'm really careful when I drive. It was when I was doing my delivery work for Series. I was driving a van, unfamiliar vehicle. And then I was like, where the hell was this? It was in Wollert.
Oh,
Wollert. And it was doing, I think, 57 in a 50.
yeah.
And I looked up the road on Street
Hurts.
View because I was like,
50's not a speed limit.
Yeah. But the thing was, I was like, this must be a mistake.
Yes.
There must be something wrong here.
Yep.
And I looked up the street and it was a divided road with like separated car parking as well. One side there was not even any houses and the other side there was houses. So it was like one of those new estates that was slowly building.
Ah, yes.
For me, it was a major enough road that I was like, this must be 60. I looked at it and then I looked that up. Like I thought that was 60. And that's why I was going 57.
That's when you know priorities are wrong. When they're putting in speed cameras before they've added additional houses.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if that's more important at that point.
Yeah.
But it was
Let's
just-
get the cameras in.
Yeah. So I'm going to contest it. And I was wondering, what are your strategies for contesting a speeding fine?
I think that you, given your track record, will be fine. And I think that was the consensus last night as well, is that you are generally a safe driver.
Thanks, mate.
And not an aggressive driver
Most of the
in
time.
a speed sense.
Yep.
I get a lot of speeding fines, but similar, where it's only like, you were going 57.
I get a
We're saying you went 54.
Yeah, they give you the benefit of the
Yeah,
doubt.
benefit of the doubt.
And
but
you
it's
still
always,
blow it.
It's always in 40 zones. Because I want to kill the kids. No, but it's always in 40 zones, which I was like, I didn't know that was a 40 zone. It just crept up on me.
Yeah, of course.
And so my advice to you is make hay while the sun shines, because you can get out of a ticket.
What are your for the letter you're writing in? What key points are you including?
Okay, so first, I think utmost importance is formality. You want it to be a nice,
Okay.
official tone, and you want to establish that you have a history of safe driving.
Okay.
Look at my track record.
Yeah.
Look at my record on the track where I race.
Do you reckon?
Don't race on the road.
Do you reckon they look up? Do they take your word if you say I haven't had anything for X long?
Yeah.
They look you up and go.
Good. I think that they would initially. God, I must be so off here. I want there to be an initial parser that goes
automatically.
Yeah, Joshua Porter hasn't had a fine for X amount.
Yeah.
This is a complaint. Fine. Reprieve. Right?
Because would you ever do? I remember I had a friend once who I can't remember what it was. It was like talking to a venue that hadn't paid us or something after a season. And he's like, I'll send it. He worked at a law firm. He's like, I'll send it on my from my law firm's
Yeah.
email account. Is
Yeah.
there any strategies for you when you're emailing in to be like, I'll use my work email that sounds a bit more professional, or you're like, whatever?
I think that's not an appeal to the common man.
Okay.
And when you're trying to get
You
out
don't
of
want
a
to scare
fine,
the police. You don't want to scare Vic Pol.
yeah, you want to come across as humble as you can.
So you wouldn't say, "Don't you know who I am"?
Yeah,
You wouldn't lead with that.
Yeah.
That's the subject. Don't you know who I am? It's got the infringement notice number, and then don't you know who I am?
That's it.
Sorry.
This
the body-
email empty.
I think my key points are admit you did it.
Admit you did it.
Don't say you didn't do it. Don't say it wasn't me, or it's like you got to go, yes, I was speeding, or yes.
Are you giving context?
Yeah. So I go, looking at it, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to looking at it. It was the kind of road that I'm used to being 60 as a delivery driver. I'm in unfamiliar roads.
Yep.
It's a place I'd never been before. So I was unfamiliar with the roads. As I was going 57, I must have thought it was a 60, hence I was below the speed limit.
Wow, you can say you're a delivery driver.
Yeah, but that probably makes me seem to be worse. doesn't it?
No, because they go, this guy hasn't had fines for years, but he's always on the road.
That's good.
He's
That's
always
real
on the
good.
road.
Yeah. For the last 3 months.
I'm always on the road,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's your sell.
Hey, you know me.
I
I'm
love
always
the
on
road.
I love the road. I'm saying I did it, and I'm saying in the future I need to pay more attention. And if I can't see a stop sign, I need to presume that it's going to be 50. It's
I
not a
don't
stop
know.
sign. If I can't see
I
a
don't
speed sign,
That
I need to
sounds a
presume
little
it's 50.
obsequious. I don't think you want to patronize them in that way.
You've used two very big words there, Christian. You speakerious?
I don't think
Yes, you're speakerious.
the royal speakerious. I don't think you want to come across as like saccharine. Like two,
Yeah, okay.
right?
One of the other ones that I never remember. I look it up and I can never remember it.
You don't want to
like
be overly sweet to them.
Okay.
And I will try better next time. I don't think you need that. I think the honesty is great. I'm copping to this. It was an area that was completely foreign to me. I didn't expect the 50 kilometer speed limit. I don't think you need to say, I'll try better next time.
No.
So look at my track record.
No, it's. I think it's to say, this is how I know I need to alter my behaviour. So I'm a law-abiding citizen.
What? Each to their own.
We've got some comments. Cooks is saying, Christian, what speed did you clock in a 40?
47.
Oof, that's huge.
Yes.
A Vic Pol Roibus, we could totally do that. To get 10 Roibus sleeves, you not only need to get off the speeding fine, you also have to become police commissioner. That's got to be my goal, really, by this. If you're
I
anyone
think
to
you'd
consult,
make a good police commissioner.
I'd have to front Neil Mitchell every week.
Well, someone who's happy having his Mountain Dew at room temperature. Perfect.
He's a maniac. So that's something I want to chat about.
That's
good. That was like a normal talking point. That
was a normal
That's a before we get started, really. That's
really?
Just to peel back the curtain a bit, that's probably a before we get started.
All right. Well, we'll give that a little.
Yeah.
But I want a deep cut now.
I'm just going back down.
Well, I've done one. You've done one. Let me get another one out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's
I've got
go.
a whole series of. I had a segment called Pet Peeves.
The tips of socks get too tight when you put them into your shoe.
You said you pitch as if you don't like. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by the tips of your socks get too tight when you put your shoes on. Because either they're too tight or they're not. The fact that the shoe is the constricting factor there, not the sock.
I thought this would be one of those things that I said, and both of you would be like, "Oh, I hate when that happens," and it hurts that neither of you knew what I was talking about.
I think I understand what you mean. Thinking about it, is it that you have a sock on?
You put the sock on, right, and it's
feels
snug.
great.
Snug feels great
As a bug in a rug.
as a bug in a rug. You you put your shoe on afterwards.
Yeah.
The shoe pushes against pulls the
Yeah.
sock
With the
further
shoe.
up your foot, and then the end of the sock where your toes are becomes excruciatingly tight.
But I think you need to loosen your laces more before you put your shoes on.
Well, hang on a second. No, I'm sliding. It's all about the slide. It's not about the laces.
But
I can loosen them all the way off.
But your sock is catching on your shoe much more than I think it should.
It is, and I agree. And
Yeah.
I'm worried about
So
whether
your shoes are too small.
my shoes. I think it's about the width of my shoe, maybe,
And it's just
because I've got
grabbing-
a wide foot. Either way, it's been happening my whole life. I put the shoe on. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, and then I've got to try for the next 5 minutes,
like, squish
wiggling
it
my
out,
toes to try to get it I just want a bit of loose at the
I
front.
think I know what you mean, but I can't recall it being a consistent experience for me.
But does it bother you when it happens?
A little bit, but then it's like you just kind of adjust your foot in the sock,
I
in the
can't stop
shoe.
thinking about it. Every time it happens.
As soon as you put it on, you adjust it.
But it doesn't, like what I do instead, I'm like, okay, I'll preempt it. So I'll bunch heaps of loose, like the tip of a condom.
Really? That's worse.
At the end
all
of
the
my
air
sock
out.
before I
Get
put
all
it
the
in.
air out of your toes.
But then I might have too much space. So my toes are just flying around with no support.
Yeah.
What do
Then
you
you're
do?
in trouble.
If it's too tight, then you're more prone to cut the ends.
I think there's something either wrong with your socks or your shoes.
Or me.
Yeah. Or you, more likely.
Might be. I thought that deserved a whole episode.
That's got to be 40 minutes.
Happy to check it off though, because I've been trying to get that in for a very long time.
Yeah, great. I had 4 things listed here under pet peeves, so I reckon I was going to try and pitch a new segment called Pet Peeves.
All right.
And now it's time for Josh's Pet Peeves.
Pet peeves.
People who don't rename their SSID Wi-Fi names. I hate people who have a weird Telstra 7D4CA for their home network.
Why?
Just rename it.
Why?
So you can tell someone, oh, what's the network here? This name.
Yes, but do they make it easy to rename?
Yes.
They don't. They don't make it easy at all. You have to go to the browser and type in the network address.
Wow.
101.
How difficult for someone who's mildly computer literate.
It is difficult. People don't know you can put numbers into your browser.
Still a pet. Yeah, great. Still a pet peeve. Another pet peeve. I haven't read these. I'm literally reading this for the first time. People looking at phone screen rather than the lens. So this is when you're taking a selfie in the mirror and they're holding their phone up like this, but instead of looking in the lens in the reflection,
yes.
they're looking at the phone. I was like, you're taking a photo of yourself, right? Look into the camera lens.
But it just shows why they're taking the photo,
So
right?
vapid, right?
So vapid.
But it's weird because if someone was taking a photo of you, when would you not look into the lens of the camera?
I am
right?
all over the shop at the moment. When someone takes a photo of me, it's weird to when it's a camera, you go, I'm looking into the camera.
You're absolutely right.
When it's a phone, I'm looking at the person taking the photo.
Or it's the array. And you're like,
Yeah.
where on the array am I looking?
I don't know where to look
There's
anymore.
a telegraphic lens. There's a photographic lens.
but
There's a telegraphic lens.
SOS, get me out of here. I don't like these other lenses.
People watching things on their laptop rather than casting to the TV. So that annoys me. If you're sitting in a living room and you can cast it to your TV and you're sitting there watching your laptop, that's a pet peeve.
Hang on, am I allowed to talk about
Yeah,
this?
sure.
So you're in the TV, you're in the lounge room.
And someone's watching something on their laptop instead of casting it onto the big screen in their room.
I think that there's an intimacy in watching something on your laptop,
I don't-
even when there's a big screen nearby.
You would consider doing that?
If they were watching Jurassic Park on their laptop, I'd go, you're an idiot.
A Steven Spielberg classic.
A classic, right? If they're watching Avatar 2, Way of the Water,
Yes.
on their laptop, I'd say,
Yeah.
get yourself to an IMAX,
Yeah,
mate.
yeah.
Watch that at IMAX.
Just tell that to Jim Cameron and he'll
Yes,
cry.
yes.
Be like, this is not how I intended people to watch this film.
No, my partner, I think it was my partner telling this story, pretty sure it was, watched The Irishman, the most recent one of the more recent Martin Scorsese films.
It's like
3 hours.
long.
De Niro, Pacino, other Italians, Pesci, on her mobile,
What?
in bed, just watching it on her mobile landscape.
Not a full film over 3 straight hours.
That's how Scorsese intended it to be watched.
You released on Quibi, so you could just rotate your phone at any
In
point.
3-minute increments.
Yeah, great. A 3-hour film.
Yeah.
That's how we did it.
I think, Josh, there are times where a laptop can be appropriate, but I agree with you. If it's
For the most part.
Yeah.
People wait. Yeah, this is.
Can I just interrupt? Sorry,
Yes,
Josh.
yes.
Alana Pike's written in. Love your work, guys. Cheers. Thank you, Alana. We love your work. Really appreciate you being here for the media update.
Yep.
Just a quick break for those who weren't here for the start. Patchwork will be taking a very brief hiatus in the second half of this year. Josh and Dion will still be here doing some kind of little creative things
Things are all there.
here or there. I'm going on a big holiday.
Yeah.
So I'll see everyone in 2024.
Yeah.
But for now, we're doing a little media update. Dion's sick as
Down
well.
sick. This is huge, this one.
Yeah.
People waking up their computer as soon as goes to sleep and then not using it. So they're sitting there chatting with you, not touching their computer. It goes to sleep. They go, quick, bring it back on, and continue chatting to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I hate that. It's like, no, it's gone to sleep because you're not using it. Don't wake it up until you're ready to use it.
So you would prefer that they had the settings on a never sleep mode?
No,
Because, well, okay, why are they doing that?
I don't know, because I think if it's been off long enough, if it's been on without being engaged with for long enough, it's turned off. Leave it turned off for now until you're ready to come back to it.
Do you think it's kind of an open door out of the conversation? That it's kind of like the I can hear myself being called in the other room. I've got to go.
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's a weird mental conscious thing of like, well, I'm using my computer. It must remain awake.
Yes.
I'm using it. It's like, no, clearly you haven't used it for 5 minutes straight.
Can I say that the re-login process on a computer is time-consuming and laborious?
No, but you can have your screen off time. Set
And then
that to
when you wiggle it back on, you're just back in?
I think my desktop's maybe 10 and then 30. So screen off after 10 and then sleep at 30.
I think, again, it's this thing that you've considered it because you know the rules. You
I
bothered
have.
to look into it. Whereas other people are just like, it's easier when this screen is always on because I know what I'm going to get.
So most of my things are just with issues with idiots.
Yeah, but these are legitimate pet peeves. And by the way, love the segment. Wish you'd pitched it.
Mate, I
Wish
pitch
you'd
I
pitched
pitch
it.
heaps of stuff that never makes it. 'Cause
I've
you
got a
two
pet
are
peeve.
Too scared. Hit me.
Socks that are too tight when you when you put them in your shoe.
And now it's time for oh wow of the week. You guys ever have socks that were too tight?
Wow.
So there's a few of my pet peeves.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Can we check that one off the list?
Yeah.
All right. I have, again, Josh, I've got quite a few of these, and a lot of them, I've got one that I want to raise with you now that I've tried pitching months and months ago. But can I just say, a lot of these are to do with restaurants.
Ugh.
And we've had to make a rule.
Yeah.
No more restaurant chat.
Yeah, it's big. It's huge. Why is so much of our etiquette life revolve around restaurants?
It's the only escape we have, I think, now in our 30s with work.
But how many it's a big communal interaction space, right?
A lot of observations.
Public transport, a lot of communal and community interactions. Going shopping, but I guess we don't go shopping. You
That's
know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah, the three of us are not big shoppers.
No, so the restaurant makes sense. That's us out in public
Where are we doing
with the public.
That being said, that's why there was a time that we tried to do, every fortnight we'll catch up at a pub because observations at a pub as well.
Oh, it's huge. It's great.
Got to get yourself in public.
Yeah.
Some real fucking idiots out there. Us
They're
included.
right to be talked about.
So, does a single rose have the same impact as an entire bouquet?
I think a single rose has more impact than an entire bouquet.
Okay.
It feels more targeted.
Interesting.
It feels more specific of like, this is a romantic gesture.
Yes, I
right?
didn't just get a bunch of flowers.
Yes.
I sought out a single flower.
Which I had to
rose.
get recently
Yes.
as a cake topper. Guess how much a single rose cost?
For a cake topper?
Yeah, to
This is like a
put
Beauty and the Beast cake.
yeah, it
or
was
something.
wilting away and the
Yeah.
person was dying. That's the story. It was just like to put some petals around it to make it look nice.
Yeah. I would say that a single rose is $8.
It was $10. And
Too
I was
much.
like, too much.
Too much.
I was
Cut
like-
it out of some nonna's front yard.
Yeah, I should have done that. I was surprised.
Yeah. I feel similar. I think it's got bigger impact, but I love the presentation of a bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a single is a little bit lascivious. It's a little bit, sorry.
Got it. No, explain the words when you use them. I want to learn and get more
Sexy.
comfortable.
It's a little sexy. A little too
Oh,
sexy,
hello.
right? A little crude, a little
Lascivious.
dirty. Like single rose is like, tonight we are.
Tonight's Valentine's
This
Day.
is you and me tonight.
This gives me a lot.
This
of
is my
power
key.
Tonight. Yeah, this is my key tonight.
Yeah. Whereas a bunch is a celebratory. It's like a warm hug.
Yeah, that's a graduation. That's
Yes.
a congratulations.
It is a graduation.
Yeah.
You should be showered with flowers and petals.
Here is a great distinction.
Yes.
You're likely to be photographed with a bunch of flowers, but never with a single one.
Thanks, Josh. Well done.
There's an occasion that you may be photographed with it. Yeah, but if you give it a single, you're not getting a photo with that.
That's fantastic. But also, I don't like photos with flowers. Put the flowers down.
What's your issue with that?
The flowers are for the celebration.
Yeah, sure.
They're not for the memory. What do you like? Why do they
because-
need to be in the photo?
Because they're a nice thing that adds something to it, right? Say you're doing graduation, you've got your, I was going to call it your costume. You've got your
Yes.
costume on.
You got your gown.
Pretending to be an academic.
Yep.
And then, I think the flowers are okay for that.
So it's about scene setting.
I think so. It paints a bit more of a picture rather than you just standing there on the day. It's like, oh, there were flowers there. It was a big occasion.
There
it was
were
a
flowers
moment.
there.
There were flowers
And
there.
now those flowers are dead.
Yeah, as is your career because you studied the arts. Here's one.
I'm ticking it off.
Yep, great. I like this one, and you're not going to be able to answer this because I haven't talked about it. What is the most absent-minded thing you've ever done?
Ooh.
And my example, what happened to me was I don't know if I may have talked about this.
Yes.
I was sitting at my desk having some TV snacks and a cup of tea, and I was reaching into the box of TV snacks and eating it.
Oh no.
And I finished a biscuit and I dunked my hand down and dunked my hand into my tea instead of the packet of biscuits. And I was like, come on, dude, pay slightly more attention to your life. You're dunking your fingers into a tea.
But isn't that wild that our brain has the capacity to be on autopilot like that? Like it's like those moments, and this is not because I would love more time to think about that for my response, but it's those moments I catch myself in where I'm kind of looking at just a point, just a single point, and the world around me has gone fuzzy. And I've lost my place in the world. I'm just focusing endlessly on this one point in the world. And all of my thoughts, all of my attention, everything around me has gone away, but for that one point. And it happens once a week, I'd say.
Happens in the car a lot.
Does it happen to you in the car?
In the car, yeah.
So you'll just
I'll just go like, you weren't concentrating at all on what you were doing.
and things just happened for
And you go 57 and it's 50. In Woolert.
I was in one of those.
I was in one of the. You know when you just stare at your spot? Do you Vic Pole? You know when you stare at a spot in the darkness and then you kind of zone out, then you realise like, I'm not really concentrating on what
Oh
I'm
no,
doing.
I've just dunked my hand in my coffee.
Which I was driving my car one-handed with.
Yeah, but those moments, it feels to me like, if this was the big simulation, then we're getting a software upgrade. Like there's a patch coming through where your brain is just like,
you switch off for a bit.
it's like you're still there, but you're not there.
Yeah.
But it happens, and then I catch myself still staring, and I come out of the stare. I'm like, what? Where were you?
Who am I?
Born in.
Speaking of focusing in on a point,
Yeah.
I read, and I think I've tried it, and it actually worked. If you're crying and you want yourself to stop crying, if you focus on a detail, could be anything.
Yep. Tried this. You told me.
Corner of a window,
Yeah.
little bit thing. If you just focus on something, it stops you from crying.
Tried this. Yep.
How'd it go?
You'll have to stare the whole night at that thing because the moment you look away, you start crying again. Because the problems don't go away.
Yeah, great. If I just keep staring at this thing, I think we've.
That's
Absent-minded?
a tick.
Yeah.
You've ticked.
That's a tick.
Good.
That's good.
We've got another couple of comments here. Christian, get. Yes. This is from Laura Johannesson. Oh, Johansson, sorry. Christian, get your partner a bouquet of Martin Scorsese's sad faces pasted onto stems because that man explicitly came out and said, do not watch my films on smartphones.
Explicitly.
Guys,
you assholes.
Public service announcement. And from Cooks, John, you can only have one shape of TV snack for the rest of your life.
Oh.
Which shape do you choose?
I think so. You've got like a diamond. Actually, I'm just going to look up the packet real quick.
You have a look, and in that time, I'll tell everyone about Cook's podcast. For those who haven't, go and have a listen. A few episodes out. It's
great.
They're bloody great. James Patterson having a chat with some dear old friends about life, learning lessons. Cook's podcast.
Great. Christian was on Ep 3, I think.
Ep 1.
Ep 1.
Was it Ep 1 or 2? 2. Ep 2.
Ep 2.
Ep 2.
It's great.
Yeah,
Christian,
lot of
what did
fun.
you cook in it?
I made a lenticchie.
A lenticchie.
Yeah.
Very good.
It was very good. Had a lot of fun.
So for the shapes of the TV snacks, it looks like we're working with a star, a bit of a cloud, a kind of cornered square, and then like almost like a spade, the shape you have on a deck of cards.
What about the single stick? What about the
Nah,
stick?
they're the malt sticks. They're different.
Oh.
So TV snacks, I reckon.
Oh, just TV. Hang on. I'm confused. Wait
so
a
he's
second.
saying of the shapes within a TV snack
But
box,
is TV snack not a generic term for all of those
that's
things?
the TV snack, the blue guys.
Not malt sticks. Malt sticks not included. Can we have a clarification? Cooks is malt
I
sticks.
100% got what he was saying.
Yeah.
It's of the shapes within a box of blue TV snacks. Which one do you always
All right.
want
So we've
forevermore?
got the star, the kind of cloud, the triangle, and the cornered.
I think I'm going like the shape, the spade kind of one, like the deck of cards, kind of a round. It's kind of roundy with a nub on it. I think that's what I'm going
Come
with.
on, mate.
'cause I like
Roundy
that.
with a nub on it.
Yeah.
Let's find a better way to describe that.
Okay.
Oh. Have they improved the shapes? No, you're
I'm
right. It's a spade.
Yeah.
As in,
I
like,
call a spade a spade.
You do
mate.
call a spade a spade, and he's found this. A spade is like the on a deck of cards spade,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That
I think that's the one I like the most.
why?
Because it kind of it's not super big in the mouth, and you could probably do 2 good bites. So you get a good first bite and then a good second bite, and it's not symmetrical. I kind of want it's a bit of fun.
Yes.
you know, you're joking around a bit.
But if
having
you
some
want
TV
fun,
snacks.
what about the star? You get a little nibble off the
stars?
things on the
you
outside.
do have options. You had choices there, don't you?
Yeah.
You could nibble them down. But I think I would go the spadey one. What are you taking?
I would go for the square because I want an even. I want to know what I'm getting every time.
Okay.
I have a firm first bite. Also, who's having bites of a TV snack?
I will do 2 bites regularly.
2 bites
Yeah,
on the
so
TV.
one
It's a
and
snack.
then the next in. One and then all in. Here's another question for you, following on from Cook's.
Yep.
Chicken McNuggets. I know you don't eat them, but chicken McNuggets. You got the 4 shapes.
Hang on. Chicken McNuggets
Chicken
or
Mc-
McNuggets?
Chicken. Something
That
McNuggets.
sounds like
Something McNuggets.
some kind of slang. Chicken McNuggets.
Yeah. So there's 4 shapes of the chicken McNuggets. Do you know what they're called?
We had a qualifier from Cook's, no malt sticks included. No problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Do I know?
the 4 shapes of the chicken McNuggets?
They have shapes.
If anyone knows, there's 4
That is
shapes.
mental.
There's
I thought
4
they were
shapes.
chicken.
I thought that
And
was
they,
chicken.
this is 3D printing.
Yeah, there's 4 distinct shapes
Okay.
within the chicken nuggets. There is and you'll love this.
Yeah.
There's the bone, the boot, the ball, and the bell.
Get out of here.
Great. So the ball is the most round one.
Yeah.
The bell is kind of like more oblongy. The
Yeah.
bone is kind of like a bit squarish and rigid, and then the boot's got that little kink
Give me
on
a
it.
little look.
So the boot for me is the absolute winner because you've got a natural kind of point to dip and scoop with the bone. Sorry, with the
Crikey.
boot.
Yeah, boot looks really.
I'm into the boot.
It's like this is like a reverse. Like it's not a reverse. If you flip it the other way, it's the right way. It's Italy, right?
It's Italy. It is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd go the boot as well.
Go the boot as well. Great.
How's that?
Then it's
They've actually
decided.
got shapes.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Are they kind of printing into the breast or the thigh?
It'll just be like
Or are they just mashing it all up and then?
I think it's
printing
all
it off?
mashed up and then they put into a cast or
Great.
something.
Yeah, great. Love that.
All right.
Spades, saucy Josh, wing from
Yes,
Cooks,
thank
and then
you.
also square, solid, reliable Christ.
Yes.
No problem.
One of my other ones, just to pick another rando. This is weird. People violently checking if a toilet cubicle is open.
Oh
They must have had
yeah.
someone, is anyone in there? It's like, relax.
Is anybody alive out there?
Oh God, come back. Just everything's gone. They can't. They've been sitting there for like an hour. Come back. Come back. I must have had someone like instead of just like, is anyone there? It's like quite pushing it in quickly or something like that. It's like just there might be someone in here. You're just trying to find that out.
Yes. So what's the best way?
Just a polite knock. Is anyone in there? Knock knock.
Are you saying that? Is anyone in there?
Yeah. Is anyone in there? Or I sort of knock and slowly. Actually, you know what I do? I knock and then with the second knock, I slowly push it if it's unlocked. And then it's up to them. They've heard the knock. They have time to go, nah! I don't just go,
Yes.
I'm like, knock, knock, and this is opening now.
Not gonna slow push.
Yeah, not going to slow. But what's your strat?
I think probably a little knock. I'm not saying anything though. I
No,
don't-
say nothing. Say no more.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a conversation. I'm
That's
happy for it to
fine.
be a monologue that you get the double knock and then you get the occupied, but I don't want it to be like, hey, are you in there? And then it's like, yeah.
I don't want it to be a conversation.
Yeah.
right. You don't. So you don't want to pose any questions.
Nah. They don't even know I'm there. Like,
What if you said-
because it could be, and I do the knock kind of inconspicuous, so it's like they don't know if they even heard a knock. They're questioning whether to respond.
Great. They don't know if someone's. That's what you want to achieve. They're not quite sure if someone's coming in. Was that a knock? Then they say, "Was that a knock?" And you go, "No." It reverses it. Was that a knock? No. There's no one here. There's no one trying to get in.
Boot, perfect dip. Agreed, Isabella. I think it's established the boot is the perfect
Cheers
dipper.
to the boot.
Yeah, great idea. Make them all boots.
Yeah. Hey, McDonald's, $1 million idea. Make them all the boots.
The McBoot.
The McBoot, chicken McBoots. Could I have, imagine, could you request that? Can I have 20 chicken McNuggets, all of them the
All
boots?
boots.
And they go, no, we can't accommodate that
You
request.
reckon? Get this right. How much is a box of 20 nuggets? Are they in 20s?
Kinetic Screen would know. It's probably something like $12 or something.
Cool.
$15.
Doesn't matter for the purpose
Yeah.
of this exercise. Extra $1, you get all boots. You
All-
paying it?
Yeah, probably. Fuck. And the state
That's how much you like
and
the
the
boot.
state I'm normally in when I want chicken McNuggies, I'm like, yeah, give me all boots. I could be easily
It's
convinced.
$100 extra for yeah. Go on. All right, I've got
me.
one for you. Are we sealing that off?
Yeah.
Josh, how long can you hold someone else's newborn? And can you refuse to hold someone's baby?
Yes, you can absolutely refuse to hold someone's baby. And holding the newborn, as in,
I'm still processing answer number 1. You can refuse to hold someone. So,
I think so.
So I've just had a new baby, and I say, Josh, would you like to hold my new baby?
And I think the response, if you didn't want to do it, was like, oh, no, I'm not very comfortable. Thanks.
Okay, that's a nice response. I'm not very comfortable.
Yeah.
Then I say, there's a time to learn. Give it a go.
Ooh.
Test run.
I think then you just have to do it.
You have to hold that baby.
If you insist, I don't think you can back out twice.
What makes you feel uncomfortable? Is it the fact that it's a baby?
It's probably...
Is it the shape? Better to be a boot
If the
shape?
baby was a boot shape, I'd be right in there.
Josh, you're dipping my baby.
This baby is great for dipping. Hey, McDonald's, $1 million idea. Shape all your babies like boots. I think it's I don't know, the arrangement of hands to hold the baby.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
And then to be like, and
I
I'm
think-
uncomfortable holding
I
this
think
baby.
people who have children and obviously are kind of in the midst of all the children stuff, they get really good at holding the baby. There's an expectation when they give it to you, like, come on, you got to be good at this. It's easy.
Yeah.
But not all of us have had babies in our life,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair that sorry, excuse me. I think it's fair that you can refuse it and people should be okay with that.
Yeah, because I know
also-
that they say that babies are robust.
It's also like handing something very precious over to someone. That's the other issue.
Oh God!
So it's like
How nerve-wracking is
it's
that?
like giving someone, oh, can you just hold this priceless, shatterable glass
Yes.
for me? And you go, oh, I'm not very comfortable. I'm really not comfortable holding that.
Yes.
Because if I get knocked and drop it or something,
Yep.
this baby will shatter all over the floor.
Oh God, with Mr. Peace trying to sticky tape it back together.
Where's this boot go?
So I think there was an additional part to that question, the first part, which was how long can you hold someone else's baby?
You say
A newborn.
how long can you hold? As in, what do you?
Well, how long
unsure
should
of?
you? So I was visiting a friend who just had a newborn a couple of days ago. Was it yesterday? And my partner was holding the newborn. And I went on having a conversation with the couple. And then maybe, I don't know, 5 minutes had passed. And I looked back over and she was still holding the newborn. And my first instinct was, she's held that baby for too long. That she has to give that baby back.
So that's not a do you want to hold the baby? That's a I've taken the baby or I'm looking after the baby now. Because do you want to hold it when someone says, would you like to hold the baby? It's a very short-term thing, right?
Yes.
It's not, hey, we're sitting down for the next half hour. Do you want to hold the baby for the next half hour?
You're taking just the scenic route, right?
Yeah, sure.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Just a couple of holds.
Oh, you're going that quick.
Well, I think the moment that, you're 5 minutes in, that baby's making decisions, right? That baby's going, am I sleeping here? Am I kicking up a stink? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, right. Okay. So you're it's like get a few rocks in.
I personally think...
Rockabye baby.
Yeah, a couple of rockabye babies. You're like, hey, here's me. This is what I'm like. Maybe a minute. I just feel like the longer it is, the more chance there is for...
I think that's something
to
I'm
happen.
worried of as well. Something happening while I'm holding the baby.
Yes.
Like, I don't want any activity. The baby should have zero activity while I'm holding the baby.
But the thing is that for the parents, guaranteed any parents in the audience would know, hold the baby for as long as you like. I love the fact that I'm not the one holding them right now.
Do they though?
Well, I think it's just a chance. It gives their arms a rest.
Gives their arms a rest.
As Michaela Foster says, relaxed body, relaxed baby.
That's a good catch cry. I have to try and remember that. But it's very hard.
Hey, man, loosen up.
Very hard to be relaxed when you're uncomfortable with something.
Yes.
Tense is the position you're in.
I have, having now had a couple of nephews come through, friends with babies, I feel like I'm getting my groove on to the point that people hand me babies right way round where the head's up my right arm, but I'm a lefty.
Yeah, okay.
So I go, what is it called when you punch with your left hand?
Oh, a southpaw.
I go...
Or if you're a skateboarder, you go goofy.
I go goofy in southpaw with this baby, and I yesterday was like, spin that baby's head around, palm that baby into
I'm imagining you
my
like
left.
one of those sign spinners with the baby.
Yeah.
You know, with the feet, you just go, give me that baby.
Yeah, and I got it on my left, and I was real pleased with the hold, the
yeah.
weight, everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it nuzzled into my left bicep. It was real nice.
Laura says, every time I had hold a baby, I have the uncontrollable urge to punch at Carly Curnow circuit. Charlie Curnow circuit 20. Who's Charlie Curnow circuit 20?
Carlton Ford.
Okay. Boot those little nuggets. There you go. Boot those little nuggets.
And you know that baby would get a perfect spiral.
Here's a question for you. How long can you continue?
Punch a baby before the parents get upset?
Yeah. How long can you refer to a baby as a newborn? When do you transition to just a baby?
Not a question for either of us, I'm afraid, but my gut instinct, we can weigh in on it. I'd say you have a newborn a month.
Or is it a couple of weeks?
Well, this is like that new shoes debate that we had a couple of months ago.
Same.
I would say a newborn. So we've had a newborn. I'd say up to 6 months.
Up to 6?
Yeah.
Ooh, that seems long to me.
Does it?
Yeah. To the term newborn, maybe
think of the context of an average life. Let's say that baby's getting up to 80 years
well,
old.
you
got yourself an 80-year-old
got 2 or
baby.
3 years of being newborn then.
Yeah, right. That this baby's been born within the last year. Actually, it's within the last year.
I love the idea of the parents persisting with that. Look, he's going to live to be well over 100. He's 3 years old. Yeah, he's still newborn. Okay,
He's got a long life.
He's 3% of the way through. Okay, that's still newborn. We had another comment. Parent of 2 under 2 can confirm. Hold my babies as long as you want.
Hold my baby as long as you want!
There you
Exclamation mark.
So
thanks, Alana.
As long as you need, as long as it is necessary.
Josh, is that a tick off?
That's a tick off. That feels like a tick off.
Thank you.
Hey, some of these are just like strange thoughts. They're not really patchwork
we have
stuff.
we have a couple of. Sorry, just to finalize that comment, we have. I'd say 6, but also have no kids, so 6 months. And then Michaela as well, surely 6 months.
6 months. So
Yeah.
3 months in, you still got the newborn.
Yep.
I would have thought it'd be much shorter than that.
I don't know. It's a new like babies are babies, right? Until they do, I'd say like for me, about a year they start to like walk and
just
do
call them
some
a baby then.
serious shit.
Yeah, I'd call them a baby then.
But that's it. Newborn baby is baby.
Nah, I disagree.
So you go from newborn baby to just baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Newborn to baby.
Hit me, newborn baby.
Some of these are just like strange things. So this one is, if you beat a bouncer in a fight, your drunk mates get to stay at the bar or the club.
If you beat a bouncer in a fight, your drunk mates get to stay.
Yeah, so if they try to kick you out, you get to like drop
You
the gauntlet.
challenge.
You challenge them to stay, and if you win, you get to stay.
But do
there.
you also have to run the door?
No. That's not part of it. It's just like you don't. So it was like double or nothing. You want to kick me out? Well, it's what is it in Game of Thrones where he's like, I challenge my combat or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, I challenge my combat. You just say that.
And so you beat the bouncer.
Yep. Everyone cheers.
Everyone cheers. The bouncer kind of his head's exploded on the concrete.
You've count punched him, and it's just one hit. He's down.
Yep, he's done. They drag him off to the side. I think with no one running the door, you then have a parade of people walking past being like, the bouncer's been taken down from this place.
Everyone in.
The community comes in.
Is it the case of then like you said, that you become the bouncer in terms of you take on that role, and if then
Yeah.
someone beats you,
But you've got to sober up real quick.
real quick,
Because then all of a sudden you've got this wave of drunk fools coming
thinking
in.
they can get in.
And then you have to start saying to them, guys, I think we're at capacity.
Where's this clicker? Where's this clicker?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you got another challenge on your hands.
Yeah. And then you go down.
You
and
go
the
down.
circle of life carries on.
And then there is a pile, a mile high
knocked out
of
bouncers.
knocked out bouncers that form a single large bouncer.
At the end of the night,
Yes.
that's the end of drinks. They,
Yes.
they send the giant bouncer to clear the place out. That's how it would work.
All of these could have worked in the show.
They could have.
They all could have worked. We've been streaming for quite some time, Josh.
Cool.
What are we at? I don't
Coming up an hour.
We're coming up.
Well,
to
what
an
does
hour.
the little Steve Jobs say?
Yep. It says live. I'm not sure how to check. About an hour. Let's give a couple more. Let's put a couple more under our belts.
Yep.
And then sign off
Pack it in.
for Welcome to Patchwork 2023, or at least with Christian.
Yes.
Let's see if I've got. Well, we've got until they don't smell new anymore.
That's huge.
That's a really
That's a
good
great
point.
metric.
The reason that I went over yesterday was mainly for the smell.
Can you describe that smell?
New baby. Fresh new baby smell.
baby.
It's like cream.
New baby.
It's like freshly whipped cream.
freshly whipped cream.
Yeah, it's real good.
Parents love hearing that about their kid.
Yeah.
Smells like freshly whipped cream.
Yeah, but isn't that nice? Well, you don't want me to say it smells like cow dung or something.
Smells like off cream.
Yeah, that baby smells a little off.
Is your baby expired? That's what was the date on this baby?
This baby stinks.
What was the
Put
date?
this baby away.
What was the date on this baby? Hey, can you smell this? Does this baby smell okay to you? Yeah, that still smells good.
All right, I've got another one on flowers, Josh.
Yeah, hit me.
I found a hair in my bouquet of flowers. Should I return it? Are the rules different if it's not food? If you find a hair
I
in
think
something.
so. Yeah, food is the ultimate. This isn't great, but I'm at the point now where I'm happy. I will happily just take a hair out.
Oh, shit,
of
me
food.
too.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
You
there was
won't
a
eat
hair
it?
in it. No, I will eat it. Not the hair, but like I'll take the hair out and it won't bother me.
What if it's like
It's a dead cell.
How's this, right? It's a dead cell. Yeah, someone else's dead cells. But if the hair is a light brown, like an eyelash, let's say, light brown, you see it. It's
small
like just a
one.
little flick in your pasta. But then there's like a dark black eyelash too. Surely the faint eyelash is more edible than the dark one.
Yeah, if I saw those,
Crazy.
yeah, you see those and you go, that seems worse.
Yes.
The black one seems worse than the other one.
How
Yeah, you're
affronting.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
But a much longer hair is also way worse than a shorter hair.
Is it?
If you have one
I don't
that's
know,
like,
not for me.
If you have one that's 6 or 7 inches long versus one that's 2 inches,
Nah.
you think the longer one is way more gross.
No, for me the longer one's better because I know I can trace it coming out.
But you know what happens when you pull out the really long one? It's got tangled up in some bit of food, and you pull it up, and
It's like a fishing net.
It is, and it's pulling stuff up with it. And like,
Got a
no,
little license plate.
you got to cut it out. You go, oh, sorry, mate. You got to cut that out.
Shit, good
And
for
then
the
you-
boots.
And then you kiss the bit of pasta and throw it back in. I think it's definitely the shorter the hair, the more okay I'm with. Is it eyelash or a head of hair?
Yeah, what's
work?
more often falling in?
I think I more often see a head hair. But what's grosser? I think a head hair is more off-putting
I think like
than
an
an
eyebrow. Eyebrow or eyelash is more off-putting because the head hair, I'm like, I know head hair.
Yeah, okay.
I've eaten head hair, like as in not willingly,
But you know.
But an
you
eyebrow,
know.
I know, but an
Do
eyebrow.
you reckon you could distinguish an eyebrow from a lash?
If I had like a blindfold on and it was like a tasting challenge.
Yeah. Just two on a plate.
Could I? Nah, I don't reckon I could. I reckon it'd be too tough.
Are eyelashes kind of firmer and harder? I feel like they are because they feel like that they're always that rigid, curly shape a bit.
Yeah, maybe they've got a little bit of a spike to them.
Yeah.
But the eyebrows, I don't know, mine seem kind of quite intense.
They are.
Yeah.
Very intense eyebrows.
Well, this one wouldn't have worked maybe as well
No,
on
it
the
would've.
podcast.
It was good.
Are you fine with it?
I think we got to the bottom of it.
What's the answer? What was the question? All right, let's tick that one off.
Yeah, that's ticked.
Found a hair in my bouquet of flowers. Should I return it? Are the rules different if it's not food?
Oh, we just got onto food.
Just completely got onto food.
Yeah, the roots.
Bouquet and I think it's disgusting. I think a bouquet of flowers is almost more precious than a plate of
But
food.
you just pull it out and it's no harm done. No one
but
cares.
the flowers have had dirty hair on them.
What are you doing with the flowers? Making out with them?
Eating them.
They're on top of the cake.
Yeah.
What is this? This is weird. Using emojis. I shouldn't even bother doing this. Using emojis as telephone numbers. You'd need an emoji enigma machine to transcode the numbers to emojis. That's terrible.
Yeah. That's no good.
Looks like here's another good segment.
No.
No, we'll move on. Here's another segment which seems to be banal headlines.
Great.
I guess I'm glad I don't have a beach house. They're overrated. That's not really a headline, is it?
No, and that's not accurate.
Oh,
As if you wouldn't want a beach house.
I think they're overrated. Well, I did when I wrote this.
Do you want to explore that a bit? Why do you think they're overrated?
I guess there's this idea of owning a beach house. Like, oh, you have a beach house.
Yes.
You know, it's this thing. I don't know if it's particularly Australian, is it?
No,
The idea
no,
of
no,
having a
no.
beach house?
No way. Because
It's not particularly Australian.
well, beach house maybe, holiday home.
Holiday
no.
home.
I think that's a universal thing. You hear about it in movies. You hear about people in Europe have their holiday homes in the Swiss Alps.
I guess it just seems very strange to me, the idea that you have a second place just for holidays. Like, it's pretty full on when you think about it those ways, in that way.
Now, I think if you look at it through the lens of today, the idea of not only can I afford one home, but I
Yes.
can afford a second one in a
Just for
in a-
funsies.
in a funsies in an area which has beauty,
Yes.
presumably,
Yes.
which will cost more.
Yes.
So I think in that lens, yes, it seems mad.
Yeah.
But what about, Josh, if holiday home was a little farm parcel and you got yourself a field, and in that field there's farmhouse. And in that
Yes.
farmhouse you got some speakers.
Yeah.
And you can have a big fuck off party.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
okay.
I think thinking of it now, I don't know when I wrote that note, what I was thinking at the time, but I'm like, yeah, of course it would be cool to have a second property in a holiday
I
location.
think you were raging
here.
against the machine
Yeah,
at the
probably,
time.
probably.
Yeah.
But I think it would be cool to have a second place just for funsies.
Just for funsies would be sick. And we've spoken about it so many times. And I'm sure many people listening to this and people everywhere often with their friends go, we should all just put in
Chip
for
in.
a commune.
Yeah, we should.
One central house. And we have little tents around and we all just
Oh,
congregate
we live
there.
in tents.
We don't live
that.
in tents when we visit.
Oh, okay.
We just need somewhere with. What are the essentials? You need a toilet,
Running water,
running water,
electricity,
yeah, electricity,
space.
you
No
need
neighbours.
space. Oh, no neighbours is important.
You just want it to be like, I don't want to think about anyone else when I'm here. I
Yeah.
can do anything I want, whatever.
It's nice to have amenities there, right? Like some
Yeah.
olive oil.
That's an amenity. That in your life, olive oil is an amenity.
You're not cooking without olive oil. That's the first thing that goes
Oh,
in.
so you're cooking there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It comes in before the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's like the speed cameras before the houses.
Start that. Get a head right on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very. You don't need a lot. You wouldn't need a lot. Internet. I want internet.
Internet.
Yeah. I think that's big.
So you want
that
space.
would be a struggle.
You want running water. It is
It
a
could be.
human right now, isn't it?
Should be if it's not.
But it's not. It's not a guaranteed human right. It should be a public service that's free.
That'd be great.
Free internet.
I'm up for it. Let's do it.
Does that exist?
Yeah, there's free public Wi-Fi around.
No, but I'm talking about free internet.
Oh, in some
everywhere.
countries, it's like, hey,
Just give-
there's no ISPs.
You know what?
It's
Get
your
rid of it all.
taxes.
Get rid of all telcos.
Oh, and
It's all state owned. In fact, get rid of
Yes.
all private services.
Yes.
Make it all state.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, bring back the SEC. Oh, they're already doing that. Great. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Like a state-run ISP. Well, Google was doing Google Fiber for a bit in the States. They stopped rolling that out, haven't they?
Google.
Google Fiber.
I have no idea.
Anyway.
There's a funnier comment in the chat that
Yeah,
I'd like
well,
to go
go,
up to.
hit me.
Would you rather your holiday home made out of eyebrow hairs or head hairs?
I think you'd want it out of eyebrow hair because I feel you get a consistent. Listen.
That is-
Listen. because you get a consistent gradient of hair, so you can get all the same size ones and use them in different particular ways. If you're just going head hair, it's all over the shop.
I'm treating head hair like strings of bamboo that you're kind of
Weaving.
weaving, and making into rope. You can make a house easy.
Yeah, and
out of head hair.
I'm imagining it more like you have, and you're just building up these layers and layers and layers.
You're thinking of like tiling almost.
Yeah, almost like tiling.
Wait, you're thinking of bricks
And
now.
also like making bricks out of hair. I think maybe that's where I'm going to end up. So the little
That's
tiny
where we'll
bricks,
end up?
Tiny bricks. Tiny little bricks, and you just stack.
I'm happy to leave it there. That's where we'll end up in the future.
The tiny hair bricks.
Tiny hair bricks building holiday homes.
Yeah. Lego can make a set.
Yeah, ask them.
Hair set.
Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks for watching along. Thanks for participating.
Yes, if you've joined us as well, the reason we're doing this is Christian's going away for about 6 months. So, Patrick.
No, there's no return date. It could be any time return.
Yes,
could be longer than 6 months.
It could be. Let's not put a date on it.
No dates.
So yeah, we're going to take a bit of an indefinite hiatus for Patchwork. We'll pause Patreon. Just got the back catalogue. We might do a few specials here or there.
Yeah, and I'm happy to zoom in or whatever the best service
Depends how you're going. Give you a few months, mate.
Hey, I'll settle in.
If you got some internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the kind of plan. We haven't thought too much about it, but you won't be getting regular releases as you know it.
But I'm sure that we'll be coming straight back into Patchwork when I'm back, because it's a very important thing that we all have in our lives.
I'm glad you're so sure of it, Christian.
Well, I'll be continuing on with Patchwork with AI Josh and AI Dion.
Great.
Dion is absent tonight. He's not feeling very well, but I'd like to say thank you, Josh, and thank you, Dion, for the 6 years that we've had so far.
Thank you, Christian.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And I really do look forward to another 6 to 10 years max.
Also, thanks to all listeners who've supported us over many years.
Yeah.
This is goodbye for now. It's not goodbye forever.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how to end the stream because I don't know which button's which.
you know what? There's probably a button on there that literally says end stream. Isn't there?
There is, but if I...
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Maybe go to the wide shot. We'll do a nice one down the top of the camera. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the future. Don't know when, but we'll see you soon.
I'm going to miss you.
And thanks for hanging
miss
out.
you.
Yeah.